think we've all heard of the concept of me versus me or you versus you, just depending on perspective here, in the sport of powerlifting, right? We hear about this concept all the time of you need to beat yourself or your biggest opponent is yourself. And I think it's tremendously valuable. And oftentimes people forget to apply this way of thinking in the most important time in the sport, which is meet prep. When people enter meet prep, they often also enter comparison mode. And it makes sense, right? On game day, we're going to be compared against others, and this is going to determine the outcome. But the issue with putting too much weight on comparison in meet prep is you're putting so much focus on something you have no agency over, right? We can't control what numbers our opponents are going to hit in prep. There's no point investing any emotional energy in what other people are doing. It's just a waste of time. And it can have some tremendous downsides in terms of regulating your stress during meet prep, right? It's only going to add to your stress because it's an unknown factor. It's something outside of your control. So when I receive videos from my athletes or I see other athletes sending videos going, oh shit, like look at what my competitor's doing. I don't know if I'm going to be ready in time. Am I going to be good enough to win? This is all wasted mental spend. And I think a really valuable piece of advice I can give you is it's you versus you until meet day comes. Until the day where there is some true comparison that's ultimately going to decide who wins the meet, it is you versus you. And the best way to ensure that you're showing up to competition in your best form is setting tangible goals, right? Numerically. We want the most amount of logic and the least amount of emotion going into our decision making as we're navigating through prep. If we make good decisions, follow a plan that works for ourselves, we try and work harder than we've ever worked before, this is going to set us up so much better than any emotional loading or chasing down other people's numbers, even though your training doesn't support it, right? This is you versus you. Outperform your past self. And I think having these number-based goals can take a ton of weight off your shoulders, right? Like, let's say we have this tangible goal of hitting 700 kilos, just pure hypothetical here, right? We work really hard in prep. We do everything we're supposed to do, and we get to meet day and 700 kilos is in striking distance. This is something to be proud of, right? If the competition is really close and someone's maybe a couple kilos ahead of you, sweet, now we game it, right? Now we can play the comparison game. We can load what we need to win the meet. But that's not always how it is, right? Sometimes we have a phenomenal prep and we reach our number goal of what's possible, and someone's just out of reach, right? Someone's 25 kilos, 30 kilos ahead of us. We can't control that. They're just better than us. And if our only goal for the meet was to win, and now we're losing by 30 kilos, that's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot, even though you showed up to the meet with, maybe even a PB total, right? You're bummed out because you didn't win the meet, even though you set a new PB total. So I do think having these numeric goals is really helpful, right? It's something to hunt down. If that number puts you in contention for a podium spot, we game it on game day. That's what the sport's about. But if it's not, we can still leave the meet with a win, right? We set a goal for ourselves and we accomplished it. And I think this is a really valuable perspective more people need to think about. And this is something I'm making sure to carry forward in my own prep for nationals. I have a number in my head that I want to hit, something I would be very proud of. And if one of my competitors shows up and they're just 20, 30 kilos better than me, so be it, right? If I hit that number, I think that's something for me to be proud of, and I will leave the meet feeling accomplished. Control what you can and let go of everything else. It's just noise. It's a distraction. Stay focused. I'll see you in the next one.